Click, click, boom. What's going on, faithfuls? The Nothing But Niners crew is back, man. Guys, we are here to have a little bit of fun. Happy New Year or New Year's Eve to everybody that is out there, man. We can't wait to bring you guys this quick, fun show. We're not going to be on here long. We are not bringing in the new year with you guys, unfortunately. We are just going to come by, say what's up, wish you guys all well, and then we're going to have a little bit of fun here. We're going to talk about some year-end awards. Okay, so before we do all that, we have to go through the formalities. We want to thank you guys for checking us out here on YouTube. Okay, if this is your first time here, make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and you also want to turn on your notifications. Okay, it's going to let you know every time we go live. Hit us up on our social media pages. We have our Twitter and our Snapchat. Those handles are nothing but 9ERS. All right, nothing but 9ERS. We also have our Instagram as well as our Facebook pages. Those are nothing but Niners, spelled out with spaces in between. And last but certainly not least is the website, guys, www.nothingbutniners.com, spelled all the way out. If you want to send us an email with questions, comments, concerns, even some content requests, send them on over, guys, NB9ERS at Nothing But Niners. You guys know me already. I'm your guy, 49ers Mike _NFL. I got my man Tony here, NJ Niner Fan 499. What's going on, kid?
What's up, man? What's going on? It's last day of the year, and got some things to talk about tonight. Happy New Year to everybody. Yeah, let's go.
Trying to get my voice back, man. I'm struggling over here. I sound all kinds of crazy and all, but that's what happens when your team finishes 13-3 and a battle like that and somewhere they haven't won in 7+ seasons, and when it literally comes down to inches between victory and defeat, man. Victory and defeat was that close. I lost it, and I'm happy. I'm happy that I have this much of a voice. I'm happy that we won. I'm happy that we're 13-3, and there's so much, man. We had a great year, man. Such a good year as 49er fans, and we needed this. The team, the faithful deserve this. The team deserves this. Ownership deserves this. Coaching staff. I mean, everything. Now, normally when we start shows, guys, we like. Even before then, we like to bring you guys breaking news of signings and things like that. It's been really, really hard to get confirmation on anything that's happened today. There have been some rumors. There's been some whispers. We heard about Earl Mitchell being signed by the 49ers, yet we haven't heard a corresponding roster cut. So we haven't reported on that. We did not do a breaking news video. Kongbo, all right, another young man that is rumored to have also been signed, but also Roy Smith. We don't have any concrete evidence as to who was signed, who was not signed, and so we have held off on that until we hear officially from the 49ers. Everything right now is just highly rumored. Tony, have you heard anything any different?
No, it's all rumors. I've been checking Twitter, and there's no confirmation whatsoever. I mean, I believe Matt Barrows originally dropped it. Then Cam Inman said something about the Mitchell potential signing. It's nothing to be confirmed. And out of the blue, the Kongbo kid, where did he come from? Like this just came out of nowhere. A picture of him signing a contract with his agency behind him. Like, I don't know, but it's interesting. We'll address it once it becomes official. But clearly the 49ers are up to something. And once it's official, we'll explain.
Absolutely. I will tell you this, though. Of all the rumors we've heard, all three people have one thing in common. They're defensive linemen. And that tells me the 49ers want to get some more rotation and some more depth going here. And whether it's Earl Mitchell, Kongba, Smith, these guys can all be very good contributors. Defensive line. They're not going to come in here and be, all pros. They're not going to come in here and set the world on fire. But I do believe that if healthy and he has his legs under him, Earl Mitchell can, plug the gap. He can fill in for DJ Jones. You guys got to remember he was DJ Jones before DJ Jones for us.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So, Tony, you've been looking at a little bit of that of this Kongbo guy. What are your thoughts on him?
He looks like he can bring it off the edge. Speed guy. Looks like, I don't want to really go in full detail, but he looks like he could potentially be a good fit in a wide nine. He likes to line up in a track stance. He was drafted into the CFL out of the University of Tennessee. Interesting player, explosive player. But listen, it's all hearsay. Him and the other guy, Smith, the defensive tackle from Boston College, like, you don't know where they're going. Active roster, practice squad, who's coming off the practice squad, to make room for them. If Earl Mitchell, obviously, he can go to only the 53 because it's veteran status. But I mean, if it is true, if any of them is true, I think it's probably going to be the Earl Mitchell signing because I think this team is really hurting on the interior. I think they're taking players out of their position and try to force them to play a position that they're not, their strengths are not there at. So, like I said, I mean, it's up to you if you want to go on with this, but if once it becomes official, we'll really break it down more.
Yeah, we'll touch on it more once we hear a little bit more, guys. So thanks again. So you guys keep your ears peeled. Definitely, we'll bring you some breaking news. I don't have work tomorrow. I don't know many people who do. So even if it happens in the middle of the night, we got to remember that we're on the East Coast. It's only 6:00 over there. They could still be wheeling and dealing and working on things over there. So we know about some contracts that have been restructured and things like that. I wouldn't be surprised if we hear some more news in a bunch, especially during this bye week that we have here. So we'll keep our ears peeled. We'll bring you guys the news as soon as we hear it. We have a nice little contribution here from George, my man. Rhymes with what did he say? Like tortilla? George Padilla. My man here says blessings in 2020, Uncle Tony and Enforcer Mike. Man, George, we appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for the continued love and support, man. Seriously.
Happy New Year.
You guys stop spending money on us. Your wife is going to kill us, or your family members are going to come after NB Niners, man. But we do appreciate it. I honestly do, man. Happy New Year to everybody out there watching, guys. So if you looked in the link here, guys, in the link or the description of this episode, I put a link in there for a show that we did back in July. It was myself, Tony, and Dylan. And what we did was we sat back and we tried to predict some superlatives. Now, we put a little twist on it. We didn't go with your standard defensive player, offensive player, or rookie of the year, or MVP. We didn't just do those. We tried to change it up a little bit. We wanted to be a little bit interesting. So we did the following things. We did breakout player, comeback player, rising stars, don't forget about, needs to rebound, dark horse MVP, meaning not a quarterback, and under the radar. Those are all the categories that we did. So I just want to start by reviewing this, and then we'll get into just the basic categories: the defensive player of the year, offensive player of the year, rookie of the year, and special teams player of the year, and team MVP. All right, now we're going to do those things all for just the 49ers, but I do want to just go over what we did and see what we think about it. Have you gone back and watched that video, Tony?
No, I haven't had a chance. I was with my son upstairs, so I didn't. And I gotta be honest with you, I don't remember who I said for what. So
I got it all written down here. I went back and watched the whole 40-minute video, and it was a lot of fun, man. We got to make fun of people. People in the chat were killing Dylan. It was a lot of fun. So listen, man. Let me just go ahead and break this down for you, okay? So we started with breakout player, okay, and this one was it started pretty rough. Dylan went first. His breakout player was Akello Witherspoon. And, pre-injury, Dylan was spot on. Akello Witherspoon was looking good early on. And then since then, he's been, I would say inconsistent, but he's been consistently questionable, So I can't even call him inconsistent. He's just kind of turned it around a little bit lately. So I'm not sure what he's going to bring to the table there. I see Ali's popping in. Let me get Ali in here. What's going on, kid?
Hey, I haven't seen your voice since we won that division, baby.
Yeah,
woo! Man. we beat them Hawks, baby.
Are you in a bowling alley, bro?
Bro, it is pouring out here. I'm on my way to my buddy's place. Gonna have some pregame there and then head out somewhere. So
waiting for the new year.
Being safe tonight, I got it is pouring. Like when I mean pouring, it is there. It's a lot of Seattle tears out here. Let's just put it that way.
I hear you, man.
What baby? Let's go. That's number one in the West.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. My man just Ali is funny, man. You are funny, dude. This guy, man. Listen. We're breaking down the superlatives from last year, man. So we're gonna keep it going because this isn't gonna be a long show at all. But Ali, I do want you to be safe out there, man. Have a happy New Year. Don't do anything crazy.
Absolutely, man.
Now you're 3 hours behind us, right? It's only 6 over there, right?
It's only 6:10, man. Night's young. The night's young people are just getting started here. It's gonna be a good night, man. I didn't pop in on the game day, the post game, the overreaction show because I was celebrating too much, man. I couldn't even put into words what that win meant for me, and just the way it went down. I know it's a different kind of show. It's the end of the year superlatives, but I just had to say my piece on it, and it was such a beautiful thing, man. It's such a beautiful thing, and to have so many hard seasons in the past, having not won there in 9 years, and to get that W, to get it, not only get a W, but to get it for the division, to get it for the NFC, number one seed. It was worth the wait. Let's just put it that way. It was worth the wait. The juice was worth the squeeze. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Tony, you feeling me, bro?
Yeah, I hear you, bro.
Tony sounds like he's gonna pass out over there, man.
Listen, I had a rough 3-day stretch. I watched the game, went to bed at like 12:30, did 16 hours yesterday, woke up today for overtime from 7 to 3, and I'm assed out, bro. But I'm ready to do this show, so I'm good.
I got you, man. And to touch on what Ali was saying really quick, we'll get right back to the topic at hand. But what was crazy is that if it weren't for all the losses up there and how much we hate Seattle, I don't know if the way we won would have felt as good. You know what I'm saying? Like that, it felt so good to give them hope. They just knew they were going to win. They were driving. You can look at my little finger. This is them. This is them. This is them. They got right there to the end, and then there was a 5-yard penalty. All right, and then they were back, and they were like, "We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it." And boom, Greenlaw comes in there. No, sir, not getting it. I loved it, man.
Big play, Dre, baby. Put some respect on his name.
Exactly.
Let me tell you something. That play right there that he made. It was like a veteran, bro.
Yes, sir.
Oh
he saw that and he just broke on that ball. And if you watch the tape over, I mean, you see him because obviously it was a zone, so he was looking to his left. And then you see him like right at the last minute turn his head to the right, and he just.
Did you see him widen his stance before impact?
Exactly. I thought you were gonna run that over, bro. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Did you see him widen his stance before impact, Tony?
Yep.
Did you see him make the conscious decision to not get low? They learned from that Julio Jones play, bro. They learned from that. Just don't get low. You can't let them lean over top.
No. And right away you get the complaints. Oh, it was targeting. How the hell is that targeting?
Oh,
do you guys believe that Quan's going to be back for that NFC Championship game, or are you guys skeptical?
I think it's still too early.
I think if he comes back, it'll be the Super Bowl. That's if they don't activate anybody else by then. So that's my thought on it all. Yeah.
If this Mitchell signing is true, the only guy they're activating is who, and that's it. It's Quan Alexander, because that means DJ Jones is not good. The ankle's not there, or it's not getting up to speed as fast as they originally thought.
Somebody was telling me that Jones won't qualify. He won't be out 8 weeks, so he can't come back anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
What was his first game that he missed?
It was later in the season. It was
I think he got hurt in New Orleans.
Yeah,
he got hurt in the New Orleans
after the Arizona
right.
game. Yeah, like New Orleans. Yeah. So he's not going to be eligible to come back anyway.
So you figure, what was it, New Orleans? Who do we play after New Orleans? The Falcons? No, the Rams. No, we played the Rams, the Falcons. No, the Falcons, the Rams. Seattle.
That's it.
Yeah, it'll only be 5 games.
Yeah, so he can't come back. All right, Ali, man. Thanks for jumping in, bro. Listen,
no problem, bro.
Be safe out there, man. Seriously, love you, brother. You take care. Don't do anything crazy. Don't drive.
Yeah, definitely don't drive.
Catch a ride.
No, I'm waiting for a cab right now. This is actually crazy. I'm gonna leave you with this. Vancouver, where I live in, is the only North American city that doesn't have Uber or Lyft, that doesn't have ride sharing.
Damn, bro. I would start that up right now.
The cabs control the market here. They're paying off the government. It's absolute insanity. So to get a cab on New Year's is like winning the lottery, essentially.
Wow.
It's absolutely insanity that one of the major North American cities, Vancouver, does not have ride sharing. It's apparently coming in 2020 sometime, hopefully, but we've been
tomorrow.
waiting. Yeah, I know exactly, but it's crazy. But you know what? You all be safe. I'm gonna let you get back to the show.
Or
Happy New Year to both of you.
listen. When you hop in the cab, make sure your driver is sober, man.
Yeah.
I've heard some nightmare stories about that shit.
He's pulling up right now. All right.
Yeah, you be
Happy
safe.
New Year, boys.
Happy New Year.
All right,
Happy New Year. Be safe.
All right, cheers.
Happy little interruption there. I like that, man. Ali is a good guy, so hopefully he enjoys his time out there. So let's see, he's still all right. So let's keep this thing going here. So all right, so Dylan's breakout player was going to be Keller Witherspoon, and like I said, up until the injury, it looked like he was right. Tony, your breakout player, Dante Pettis.
Yeah.
Oh man, and let me tell you, I had Pettis on one of these guys also here.
You had it at I think the last category. I forgot what it was, but
I had him as a rising star.
Yeah,
but we'll get to that, man. Yeah, I had high hopes for Dante Pettis this year, and like I said, it was all spawned by those Seattle games. But I don't know what happened, man. My breakout player was Eric Armstead. Proud to say that I was pretty good on that one. Okay, your comeback player, man. Listen to this one. Your comeback player was Quan Alexander. What a pick. I mean, I know he didn't play half the season or whatever, but damn it, if you weren't right, bro. He was electric out there,
big lift to the defense, man.
Absolutely. And even on the sideline, you can see him affecting the game.
Yeah.
You can see him leading the charge before the game, breaking huddles and everything like that later on. You know what I'm saying? It's so good to see him out there doing that. Dylan had Tart as his comeback player, which is also a good pick.
Mm-hmm.
And I had Jason Verrett. Look at that. I had Jason Verrett. Who would have thought that, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So who would have thought I had Jason Verrett as my comeback guy? So it's very interesting. Like I said, it's so much fun to go back and look at this. The next category is rising stars, and before we get to that, we have another comment here. Let me see here. I got two of them up here. Here's this one here. This is from Sean Sheeper. All right, if my English studies are right, E and then P and then E should be a long E for the first one. Happy New Year's, guys, from North Beach, San Francisco. Hey, remember Sherman's reaction when they lost the Super Bowl to the Patriots? I bet he was ecstatic watching it happen to pigeon mode and the sea pigeons. You know what? That throw that Russell Wilson tried to make, it wasn't the same type of play, but it was right there at the goal line instead of them just running it in with Marshawn. I think I was listening to a lot of the radio shows and podcast that were turning into podcasts, the local ones, and it sounds like everybody just expected the Niners to lose it right there on that drive. It sounded like everybody was like, "Oh, well, they tried. They're going to let them come back again at the end like they always do, but they tried." Go ahead, Tony.
I'm going to say what it is, okay? And I'll tell you, I was pooping my pants over here, sitting on the edge of my chair in my rec room. But the problem is they constantly do that, not only to the 49ers, but to other teams. More to the 49ers, but still they do it to other teams. And it was just there, and it was just like, here we go again. And they stopped them. I mean, I tell you what, man, the remote was like this in the hand. That was a touchdown. It was going flying. I got a tab of Verizon for Fios. They get new remotes. But, listen, it's like muscle memory. It always happens. This guy always does this crap. And I can't stand him, but he's a good football player, and you can't take it away from him. But do that shit for somebody else, not us no more.
Yeah. It was evident that that's kind of Seattle's game plan. Keep it close, and try to get the ball for the last drive.
Exactly.
And it's evident by their win differential, their point differential. Their point differential this year is like 21, Tony. A team with 11 wins.
What do we have? Ours was like
186 or something crazy like that. But you know what I'm saying? Theirs isn't even 30. And so that just tells you that all of their games, you don't win 11 games and by a total of 30 points. That's kind of nuts. You know what I'm saying? So it just lets you know that's how they play. That's been their MO this year, as little as possible, keep it close, and then strike at the end. Hope that, your offense and do it. It just didn't work out for him this time. It's very interesting. A lot of people aren't going to talk about it, but they're 4-4 at home.
Yeah.
They're 4-4 at home this year. That place isn't what it used to be. So, Sean, again, thank you for the contribution. We're
Thank you, Sean.
Moving though.
Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year to you. All right. We had a Rising Stars category. Now, this is the one where people didn't like Dylan's answer because it was a rookie, but he said Deebo Samuel as a rising star.
Yeah.
He had high hopes for him as far as production goes, but people were saying that a rising star is someone who was already on the team that's going to make a game for themselves. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yours was a really, really good one. Fred Warner.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the pick at the time, and it looks like you were spot on right there. Fred Warner is becoming a household name right now. Even though he did get outshined this last game by Dre, Fred Warner was absolutely a rising star. Mine was Dante Pettis, and boy, was I wrong there. All right. Don't forget about this category was someone that we wanted to name. A lot of people were brought in to replace these guys. They were either someone who was drafted at another position. So the Niners, for example, drafted Deebo Samuel. Well, don't forget about a wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? The Niners signed D Ford. Well, don't forget about Ronald Blair type of thing. So that's what the don't forget about category was. So, Tony, you went first for this one, and yours was Trent Taylor. Don't forget about Trent Taylor. You talked about how the Niners went out and got all these different wide receivers, and, this guy is on that. Yeah, right? Dylan's was Matt Breida. And mine was Akello Witherspoon. Started like I was going to be right, and again, boom, fell down there. And this was all in good fun, just trying to predict a couple of things. Needs to rebound. Now, this category, we specify that if they don't do their jobs well, they won't be on the team following this season or even that upcoming season. Okay? So, Tony, yours was Weston Richburg. Okay? Weston Richburg was playing well. He got injured. And didn't he just restructure his deal?
Yeah, it's a rumor. They never released the official breakdown of it, but they restructured his deal. I guess they lowered his base and prorated it, probably added a year or two on the back end that has team options to stretch it out.
Yes, sir.
I don't know what the number is, so I'm not going to sit here and throw numbers out. I think his salary was like in the 8 or 9.
Yeah.
But I mean, listen, I want to see what it is when they release it. It's going to be interesting because I think he's not the only one. I think they might do Quan. I think they might do Jimmy. But listen, we'll see.
I think they tried McKinnon also, but we'll see.
That's a given.
Yeah. But your needs to rebound was Weston Richburg, and I think you hit it on the head there. Between productivity and availability, they restructured him right away. So I don't think that's a miss there. Dylan's was Adrienne Kolbert, and we see that he didn't make the 53. So he was right. He got injured in the preseason and didn't get to do much. He played in one game. Mine was Richard Sherman. Foot in my mouth. Sherman stepped up, and here he is, one of the best DBs of the league this year.
It shows that he really wasn't 100% last year.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Even though he tried to say it before and all that.
Listen, I have no problem with his play, and if he continues, I have no problem extending him at this play. Yeah. Not at all. He's playing phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And we touched on it. It's not only his play; he controls that secondary. He lines people up. He helps the younger guys. Listen, this is what you look for. All that stuff we talked about it numerous times. But just that right there, being the coach on the field.
Yeah, he promotes communication in that secondary. That's what's missing.
Student of the game.
Yeah,
that's what he is.
And that the communication cannot be undervalued in the secondary. And Richard Sherman is like the top guy for that. All right. Dark horse MVPs. These are non-quarterbacks only. Dylan went first here. He had Quan Alexander. He would have been close if Quan stayed here. Would have been really close there.
Yeah.
You named DeForest Buckner. I think he's having a little bit of a lackluster year.
Uh-huh.
And mine was Deebo Samuel. I guess hindsight would have been to just say George Kittle. But none of us did. I don't know why none of us said George Kittle. I have no idea why. But it is what it is. And that's that. And our last category that we did back in July was under the radar. These are guys that we thought no one was going to be thinking about. No one was going to be talking about. and they might come out here and make a splash. Dylan's got me excited. His was Jalen Hurd. That never got off the ground. Tony went next. His was Tavares Moore.
Oh, I thought it did DJ Jones. What did I do DJ Jones for?
There was no DJ Jones on this. Not the whole thing. Nope.
Really? I mentioned DJ Jones though on something. Maybe it was just like a regular show.
No, it might have been in that show. So we talked about a couple of things on the side, and there were a couple of categories where you said you were deciding between two people, but I only wrote down the official ones that you said, like the guys you stuck with. So that he could have been one of them. And then mine was Mitch Wishnowsky, under the radar guy, the punter and all that. And I thought he was going to give us excellent field position and call some bobble punts, and I thought he was going to make some big tackles. And I mean, he did make some big tackles, I think one or two, but he hasn't really been a phenomenal punter either. So,
well, we really didn't need him.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, is that the offense was moving the ball so well that he wasn't,
But I tell you what, there was numerous times when we needed, like that Saints game. He pinned them inside the 20. I think 3 punts, and I think we only punted 3 times.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, what he offers, hands down, he's worth. I mean, then he does that bonehead kick out of bounds and puts the Seattle Seahawks on the 40.
40, yeah. I don't understand what's going on with all that. So, all right, man, let's get to this year, and then we're gonna wrap this thing up, man. Like I said, I didn't want to do anything long. I did want to come out here and talk with some of the faithful, and give them a little show to wrap up the year. Our last show of the 2019 season. We're just gonna run down a list really quick here. And you want to start with Defensive Player of the Year?
Yeah, why not? Absolutely.
All right, so you go first here. You kick it off. Let's see who your guy is, and let's see if we agree. We should agree on this.
Oh man, this one's tough because I gotta be honest with you. There's phenomenal players all 3 levels. I'm gonna go with Nick Bosa.
Yes, sir. That is the right answer. Very good.
I'm gonna go with Nick Bosa because listen, Fred Warner's playing lights out. He really is. But Nick Bosa, man, play in, play out. He's even though he's not. I think he has 10 sacks. Am I right? Or
no, I don't think he got the 10. Did he?
Yeah, he got that 10 was the last sack that he got. I forgot.
Oh, okay.
It should have been 10 because he had 9.
All right, here it is. Nick Bosa has 9 sacks.
He has 9. All right.
Yeah. 9 sacks, interception.
My man had 11 pressures.
42 billion pressures on the season.
11 pressures versus Seattle. 11.
Yeah.
If that was a pocket quarterback, he'd probably have 5 sacks.
Yeah. I like this answer, man. He's a good kid. He's getting better. You know what I thought was going to happen in this last game against Seattle in particular, especially when you realize that they had 78 snaps on the defensive side of the ball. I knew he was going to run out of gas. He didn't. He actually played really well.
Yes, he did, but he wasn't as explosive. He wore down.
But 78 snaps is going to do that to you in any game.
Of course. And I also think that the loss of D Ford really, really hurt him.
Mm-hmm.
He's the star now. Everyone's sliding the protection to him, and they're saying to the other opposite defensive end, beat your man one-on-one. You beat him one-on-one, you deserve a sack.
Yeah.
So it's tough when you get the protection slid to you and chipped every play, and then once they started rolling the pockets and getting the ball out quick, Bosa wasn't going to never get sacks. He is all about pressures. His game turned to pressure then.
This kid has a ton of quarterback hits here. My God, just an absolute animal. He had 3 quarterback hits against Seattle. Man, his best game as far as quarterback hits, he had 5, and that was against the Browns, which is supposed to be the biggest game of the year for us. Remember how they were Super Bowl destined and all that. He's taken a couple of special team snaps. He took 51 snaps in his last game. Oh, no, the snap counts have not been updated for the last game. I apologize. But, yeah, man, he played all 16 games. People were worried about his health and his well-being and all that, and that's why we shouldn't have drafted him. He's not going to be my Defensive Player of the Year because I'm going to come back to him later. I think I'm going to give my Defensive Player of the Year to the guy I hated on the most at the beginning of the season. That's going to be Sherman. Richard Sherman has been a lightning rod for this defense, even last year, but this year you get to see it come to fruition. And I would, the only knock I have, and it's not that it's not happening, I just don't see it. I would like to see him trying to encourage Witherspoon and all that on the sidelines a little bit more during downtimes. You know what I'm saying? But I'm pretty sure it's happening in the locker room and behind the scenes. So Richard Sherman is definitely a candidate up there. And like you said, we could have said Fred Warner, but I'm going to give it to Richard Sherman, man. When you have a guy that is playing, quite frankly, the best at his position in the entire NFL, you got to give him the defensive player of the year for your team. So let's move on. Let's get to offensive player of the year. I'll give you the first dibs on this one also.
Offensive player of the year. I mean, it's in my opinion, on the offensive side of the ball, it comes down to two people, Jimmy and Kittle. I mean, it's kind of like pick your poison, but I don't know, man.
I'm never going to give a quarterback the offensive player of the year because the quarterback is the MVP, right?
Yeah,
or
but
maybe not. Maybe you want to flip it.
Those in the fourth quarter when they need to get down the field and score, he's got ice in his veins, bro.
He is lightning. He's a lot of fun to watch. He's very decisive, Tony. I don't get nervous when he's in there anymore.
I'll go with Kittle then. You're right, because I'm going to go with Kittle because Kittle's they work hand in hand. I mean, George gets the ball thrown to him by Jimmy.
Yes, sir.
So it's kind of like, but the way he runs after he catches the ball, I'll go with Kittle for this.
I like your answer. My answer is going to be very different. It's going to be someone who's not deserving, and I don't think anybody is going to agree with me here, but my offensive player of the year is going to be Raheem Mostert.
Oh.
It's going to be Raheem Mostert. I'm going to tell you why. During the toughest part of our schedule, Raheem Mostert stepped up the most. Tevin Coleman vanished. Matt Breida, whether it was doghouse or fumbling the ball, the team just didn't want to put the ball back in his hands. Raheem Mostert has stepped up so big during the biggest games of the season for us. And I don't know how else to say it. This guy has just come out and been really, really good for us in the most critical of times. And so I'm giving it to Raheem Mostert. I don't think this team finishes with 13 wins down the, if it weren't for Raheem Mostert. So I'm giving it to him. That guy is special. And I've enjoyed watching his growth this season, All right. So the next category is going to be Rookie of the Year. I didn't say offensive or defensive. I'm going to say just the Rookie of the Year. Tim Duncan, I see the question here. Did we talk about the two new additions to the roster? No, because nothing has been made official yet. We talked on that at the start of the show. There's nothing been made official.
We threw their names out.
Yeah. So we didn't officially announce it or anything like that, but we're still waiting for moves. So, all right, Tony, your Rookie of the Year.
Damn, bro. It's tough, man.
Answer your question. Who do you think impact the game more this year? Nick Bosa or Deebo Samuel? Come on now. This is
Mike. I don't know because it's two different ways they impact. They're on two different sides of the ball. Number one, obviously,
absolutely.
But I mean, Bosa's constantly in that backfield, man. It's not only pressuring the quarterback. He's chasing tight ends down on screens, running backs on screens. He is like an animal with a motor that I've never seen before. But on the other hand, here comes Deebo Samuel's running the ball out of the backfield, catching the ball out of the backfield, catching the ball as a receiver, looking to run people over instead of getting away from them. So, I mean, I don't know, man.
You know what the answer is, Tony. You know and I know. I tell you what, I'll go first because you already gave him Defensive Player of the Year. I'm going to give the Rookie of the Year to my man, Nick Bosa, man. It's got to be Bosa, bro. It's got to be. I love what Deebo did. He had a couple of drops and turnovers, and Nick Bosa was out there getting possessions back for us, the interceptions and things like that. And
there you go. He jumped up in the air and caught the pick from that kid from Carolina.
Yes, sir. And so, I think that There's no wrong answer, but I'm gonna give it to Bosa. For me, that my rookie of the year is definitely gonna be none other than Nick Bosa. So I bought you some time. I was letting you stall so you can make up your mind on who you want to give it to, and
So
you might have
I guess
double
I
up.
can't take Bosa, huh?
No, you can. You can double up.
Oh man. I guess I'll
What is
go with
that?
Bosa.
Hey, hold on. There's an alarm going off in my house. Hold on. I'm sorry.
I'll go with Bosa. It's tough because they're two really. First of all, they're a first and second round draft pick. Great additions to this roster by Peters and Lynch and stuff. But I mean, Bosa started off hot, and then Debo came on towards the end of the year. Like I'm rewatching the Seattle game right now, and I see Debo running people over. So yeah, it's a tough. But I mean, I guess Mike is right. I'm gonna go with him on that one. I'll go with Nick Bosa. You good?
Yeah, apparently it was something on the TV. Why I could hear it way in here, it's beyond me. But sorry, I didn't know what it was. So you said you're giving it to Bosa?
Yeah, I'll give it to Bosa.
Doubling up on the awards. You got a question here from Sean Sheeper again. He says, "You think if Ward leaves, they make Sherman safety?" And my quick answer on that is
no,
sir. For a ton of different reasons, but you move a corner to safety when they're showing decline. And Richard Sherman is the best corner in football right now. He's not declining. You let him play there until you see the decline. Plus, he's only got 1 year left under contract with us. So if he wants to be safety, let him do that somewhere else, not here with us. So keep him at a strength right now, and we can find another free safety somewhere, hopefully, or maybe you just bring back Jimmy Ward. So we have some problems to have. I can't wait to get to these off-season shows and talk about what move the Niners should be making. But we're going to baby step this thing. We got a lot of stuff here to discuss going forward. So Sean, again, thanks, but the answer for me is no, and I think Tony agreed right away.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. All right. This one's going to be a little difficult. Normally we have an open and shut answer for this one, but special teams player of the year, Tony. I'm not going to give an answer. I'll give you some time to think, but normally the last 2 seasons I would have said Raheem Mostert without a doubt, but that really hasn't been his thing this year. He's been good. There's been times where he's back there, but I've also seen him miss some of those tackles that made me love him back there as a special teams gunner. So you got the punter that came in, and Mitch Wisnowski, and he does our kickoffs also. But what have you done for me lately? Is going to say, yeah, he just kicked something out of bounds and almost cost us the game. So it's going to be really interesting to see which way you go with this. Could it be Robbie Gould? I mean,
I got a shocker for you.
All right.
I'm going to go with someone totally out of left field.
I know who you're going to say.
Who?
Kyle Nelson.
Yep.
Oh, I know.
Yep. And I'm going to tell you why. Is it coincidence that Robbie's kicking has improved with the new snapper, except for the one miss?
He's only got one miss since he
is a coincidence. Okay, we rotated through Kolbert, Condon. Who's the other guy?
There was another guy for like one game.
Yeah, and then Kyle Nelson came back. The first game, I think that's where he missed. He was a little choppy because it's all new. They didn't work with each other. So after that, I mean, he pretty much stopped the issues with the field goal, man. I mean, he's been good. Thank God it's improved. Robbie's improving. But, it is what it is. And that's my pick.
Very, very interesting. Again, guys, if you're just tuning in, we are doing the 49ers superlatives, just 49ers, guys, not anyone else. We have another question here from George. Tony, did you see that Kentavious Street get pushed back on Marshawn's touchdown? Or how Sheldon Day got pushed back on 4th down? Both to stop Marshawn on. In my opinion, that's why we want help on the defensive line.
George, I agree with you. I did see that, and I would love to know if Mitchell's official because I want to talk about it, but they still have not announced it, so I'm not going to go there. But yes,
we have a lot of content for you guys as soon as the team makes these things announced.
Potentially, yeah, you're right. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to go into because God forbid it falls through. You know, we're out here throwing all this information out and it falls through and I'm like, oh, you guys are wrong, whatever. But you're right. You're definitely onto something. And once this deal gets announced by the 49ers, we will jump on, whether it's me, Mike, Nick, Mike, and we will get into further explanation with this.
Yeah, that's right. Lewis is onto something here. You know, right before Nelson came back, the one guy who was actually doing well retired. Remember?
No, he was the second guy. It was Kolbert,
Right.
Joe Condon.
The second guy did good, is what I'm saying. He was doing well there. He retired, and then they forced him to get someone else. I don't know what it was. That was, you know, that was something strange. It was a little weird situation there. So
didn't have the love for it, man. That's what it comes down to. And to be honest with you, if you don't have the love for it, I don't want him on the field.
No, he did the right thing. Absolutely, he did the right thing by letting the team know that, you know, he didn't want to be a part of it. So
I'm gonna check Twitter real quick, see if anything was announced.
All right, while he's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and give my special teams player of the year, and it's going to be someone who has contributed not only in special teams, but also contributed on the defensive side of the ball. That's going to be Emmanuel Mosley. Mosley has had a good season as a gunner. He's often the cleanup guy. If he's not the first guy there, he's the second guy, and he makes a tackle. And then, you know, he was always a special teams guy when he first got here. That's actually how he messed up his forearm. The one game that he was supposed to play in, his first start, as far as special team starting anyway. And he hurt his forearm, and that was it for him. I like the growth of Emmanuel Mosley. I get excited when I see him out there on the field in general. So he's a good guy. And by the way, if you guys are new to the show, make sure you go look for our player interview tabs. Emmanuel Mosley was one of the players that we interviewed. You guys get to know his personality a little bit. He's a really good guy. I saw a tweet out there from someone I follow. Mosley was just sitting on the curb with someone's dad, and the dad told him the name of his children. Mosley just shouted him out right there in the video and posted it up there. So he's a really good guy, humble, down to earth, undrafted free agent. But man, he plays like, you know, a third round pick. I really like Emmanuel Mosley. So you guys make sure you give him a look, okay? All right. So we went through special teams. Let's get to some of the big ones here, man. We got two more to do, and then we'll wrap this thing up, Tony. All right.
Nothing yet.
Yeah, no, there's nothing official. I've got alerts set, and there's nothing official yet.
But it's going to be interesting though, because when will they announce it? Because they have a bye week. They don't have to announce it right now.
No, that's not true. They still have to announce transactions by week's end. I know that they don't have to announce like their starters and injuries until the game comes. But as far as league transactions, they have to be announced by a certain amount of time.
That's if they're playing, though, right? If it's a game week.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? If it's a game week, yeah, that's 100% correct. But they're not playing this week, so you might not hear anything until, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my baby's peeking in. Hi, mamas. She's okay. All right. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know when we're gonna hear anything about it, but something has to officially happen. There has to be a transaction, because otherwise, if I'm a team like Seattle or something, I hear them making that move, I try to get them before them. You get what I'm saying? Like you can't let a rumor like this float out there for too long and nothing be official. That's all I'm saying. Because otherwise, someone will come in there and snatch them up. You know, I heard on the radio a lot. You know, people were talking about, wow, the Saints were this close to getting AB. Maybe another team should sign him just so that the Saints can't get him. You know, like teams think like that. Players think like that. So you got to be careful with stuff out there, because if that happens, I said it as soon as I heard that he was in there. That's checkmate. That's checkmate right there.
Yeah.
That game don't end 48-46 if Antonio Brown's on the field also. So, all right, we got two big we have two big categories left. The first one is going to be comeback player of the year. Now, guys, when we were doing this before, man, it was a lot of people on our roster that were injured last year. So it was hard to come up with good names. Who do you have listed as a 49ers comeback player of the 2019-2020 season?
come back off of right now? You're
The
saying
season's over. So, I mean, yeah. Who came back from an injury from last year that has impressed you the most?
there's only one person. Jimmy Garoppolo.
There's more than one person now. You could name some other people, but
Yeah, but to the way that he's playing, like no, it's Jimmy.
yes, sir.
I mean, who else came back from injury?
Well, I mean, he's injured now, but Quan came back from injury and he was really good.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? No, it wasn't Jones that got injured. He got injured this year. I swear to God, there was another lineman that came back from injury. It wasn't Armstead either because Armstead was healthy.
Maybe you're thinking Bosa?
No, because Bosa is technically a rookie. Good one there. Jimmy Ward was another one. Came back from injury. Manuel Mosley came back from injury.
Hands down, it's Jimmy, Mike. Hands down.
What about Reston Richburg? You don't think Jimmy Ward is a good candidate, though? Hold on.
See, but I don't consider Weston Richburg because he played out the year. He finished. He went out what? The last week he missed. He pretty much played the whole season.
What about Tomlinson? He almost played the whole season too, but
Tomlinson went out with an ACL or an MCL. Didn't have surgery though. But yeah, I guess you could throw him in the mix. But I mean, Jimmy's your offense, man. Jimmy's phenomenal. So I'm going to go with Jimmy, hands down. I mean, because look at it. We're 13-3, bro. My man's got ice shooting through his veins. Knock on wood. It keeps it up, but he's the real deal, bro.
Yeah, I wanted to be controversial and try to give it to somebody else. And there's a lot of good candidates. I swear to God, if Quan Alexander had stayed healthy, he would have been the guy.
Wow, Niner by nature made a good call with Mostert.
That's very true. That's another good guy. But see, the problem is that Mostert hasn't been doing it all year long. You know what I'm saying? Like Mostert came back and he's been productive when they call his number, but they weren't using him like that in the first couple of weeks. So that's my only problem.
Yeah, can you technically say?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jimmy Garoppolo also.
Yeah,
for comeback player of the year. Listen, you can try to split this however you want. The 49ers are in 13-3 without Jimmy Garoppolo and his contributions and what he does and how he. You know what he also does well, Tony, that a lot of people aren't going to talk about. We're talking about the throws and everything and how he marches down the field when the game is on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Watch how calm he is in the huddles.
Yeah, he takes control. You see it.
Yeah, look how calm he is when the opportunities are the tight. Every time we had to answer Seattle, watch how he's in there and he's just talking to his guys and the silent communications and throwing his signals and everything. This guy is smooth.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? There is no fear in this guy at all. So Jimmy Garoppolo absolutely should be the comeback player of the year. I'm sorry. And like I said, there's a lot of guys that were deserving of it on this team in particular. They took a big gamble on this coaching staff. The coaching staff took a big gamble with this new with the new health staff. What do you call them? Strength and conditioning staff.
Player performance staff.
Yeah. They took a big gamble with those guys. And it's and I think it's paid off. Some of the biggest names, they were all right. They were all right.
Hey, George, you have any money left, bro? Jeez. Listen, we appreciate it, but damn, man.
He's going to a playoff game. He's got to be. Go to a playoff game, bro. All right. So then last but not least, it's going to be our team MVP. Are you going to double up? Are you going to repeat here? Are you going to say Jimmy Garoppolo gets comeback player and team MVP?
Nah, oh man, it's so tough because they feed off each other.
Well, who would you give offensive player to? You said that was Kittle?
I don't even remember. It's either Kittle or Jimmy, bro. I'm telling you right now, it's either A or B. It's 1A, 1B. It's either them two, man. They're two phenomenal players. But damn, Kittle's a beast, bro. Kittle's a beast.
Can a tight end be your team's MVP, bro?
The way he plays,
Yeah. Come on.
Sorry.
Come on.
What was the game? He had 11 catches. That was with the Falcons.
It feels like every game, man.
He was their offense. I mean, listen, you could give it to Jimmy. You could. Because I mean, look what he did. Shit, I'll go out on a limb. I'll give it to Kyle Shanahan.
Oh, he's changing it up. All right. I like that. A nice little twist there.
Let me tell you something. The amount of respect I have for that man, what they did versus the Saints, it's unreal.
You son of a biscuit.
Why, you going to say Kyle?
I was going to say Salah.
You were going to say Salah.
Yeah, but I don't want to do that now. I was going to be different and try to throw a coach in there. I'm going to go back to George Kittle.
Joe Woods. Mr. Joe Woods.
Oh, man. That's what we told him, right? We told him, you're the MVP.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
listen, Joe Woods, all bullshit aside, he great addition to this defense.
Surik.
And I'm going to be honest with you. If no one's available and Salah gets hired by whoever, it looks like Cleveland, possibly, because they're the first one to really request for an interview. I would not be surprised if Joe Woods takes over. I really wouldn't. I mean, unless someone like this guy, unless someone like the guy from the Chargers gets fired, like that whole staff gets fired. This guy's in here. What are you doing, Dave? Get going.
You're famous, man. I think if it's from within, I could see it being Joe Woods. If they happen to look outside, and if it's true that the Rams are going to part ways with Wade Phillips, I'd jump on Wade right away.
Yeah?
Yeah, Wade was my guy. He was my guy before. I think they got too many personalities in that locker room for him to control. I really do.
Well, Kyle, that's who Kyle originally wanted.
Yeah, so
but I mean,
I'm just telling you.
I don't know if that would work with Kocurek. Kocurek is a 4-man front. Wade is a 3-man front.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't know how that would. I mean, he would have to change his whole.
We don't even play a 4-man front. Did you see how many times we lined up with 5 and 6-man fronts against Seattle?
No, I'm talking base.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but the team moves and plays however they feel like it, man. Down and distance. That's what you want, a guy that can go out there and adjust. You want to. That's what makes Salah so good. That's what makes him so good. That he's not just. I'm not just running out here with these guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, we'll see what happens, though. I think Salah's staying, though. I'll be honest with you. I do think he's staying. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think the only job that's going to be out there that wants him is Cleveland. I don't think anyone wants to. I think Kyle Shanahan has been in Cleveland, knows how much of a crap show that is. And I think Shanahan's going to be like, hey, buddy, if you want to go for it. But the way they embraced each other after that win in Seattle, I don't think look, I can see Shanahan going to him saying, look, I would never want to hold you back. And I won't hold you back from this one, obviously, but proceed with caution, buddy. Cleveland is a career-killing place. So just, be careful. And I honestly think that Shanahan will talk him out of it. It'll be like a McDaniels thing when he never went.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going anywhere. There were some other awards that I was going to ask you about, but I don't remember what they are now. It was just going to be a couple of things for fun. We did MVP. No, he was not a good defensive coordinator, Sean. They rushed him to the position. I think he's a really good secondary coach. Technically, he has experience there, but that defense was not well balanced once he moved positions.
Who was the coordinator with him as the defensive coach, back coach?
When he was the defensive backs coach. And
when their defense was number one.
He was the DB coach when they were number one.
Who was their coordinator?
Give me a second to look it up. Give me a second. Denver Broncos 2016 defensive staff. Let me see. All right. We have head coach Gary Kubiak. All pros: Chris Harris, Von Miller, Aqib Talib. Coaching changes. Kubiak's help. Roster change. Staff. Okay, here we go. Oh, it was Wade Phillips.
Was it?
Yes.
I'm not a Wade Phillips fan. Like,
oh, now you don't like the answer. See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
I'm not a Wade. I'm not a Wade Phillips fan. I just think I don't know.
Okay. Hey,
I see what's going on with that defense in LA. I know there's a lot of personalities on that defense, but I just think I don't know. I don't know if I'm not going to say the game is past him, but maybe his style.
Hey, look, I'm just
coaching.
Saying, listen, you know how Lynch feels about Denver Broncos. You know the relationship there. You know Peters and all that stuff. You know Joe Woods was already a part of that branch. It would not surprise me at all if they just tie it all together, man.
Yeah, but he was there. Kyle called him to be the defensive coordinator, and he turned them down. So I don't know.
He wanted to go to the Rams, and they went to the Super Bowl. He made the right decision. He made the right move. They had better things in place over there. They did. They did. So it's all good. It is all good, man. Hey, listen, any other awards you think we need to give out over here, man? What do you think?
Well, I think that, we pretty much touched them all.
If you, no, we didn't name a quarterback as the MVP. So, who was your breakout player of the year?
Breakout.
Fred Warner?
No, because Fred Warner played good last year. I'm not going to say he really.
Well, let's define breakout player. Let's come up with a definition, because
like coming from nothing to exploding on the scene. Is that what you're trying to get at?
I don't know. That's what I was going to say. Is it the recognition? Is it people finally saying, "Oh shit, there he is, he's here," or is a breakout player someone who was bad and now is good?
Yeah.
Because I think that would be like a comeback guy, or a rebound guy, not so much a breakout. Niner by Nature saying Kendrick Bourne, David Yang saying Mostert.
It could be Kendrick Bourne. It could be Mostert. It could be Emmanuel Mosley. It could be Jimmy Ward. It could be, if you want to go with the new guys, Dre Greenlaw.
Debo.
Could be Debo. Could be Daniel Brunskill.
That's what I was going to add. That's what it was.
Wait a second. Logan just said KMBR said it's official.
Listen, you said Brunskill. All right.
Yes.
I know it's not basketball, but my sixth man award goes to who? That's the guy coming off the bench. One of your backups that's just been constant.
Brunskill.
Yeah?
Oh, absolutely.
Without a thought.
Where would this team be without Brunskill? School struggled. What they do? They put Brunskill out there. Ever since they put Brunskill at left tackle, what Staley was out, what happened? They took off. He played left tackle, right guard. That is your true sixth man, because he could play pretty much any position. I honestly think he could play. Well, not honestly, he can play. He was taking snaps at center in the preseason. You see, that's why.
You think he's been more valuable? And listen, I like Brunskill. You think he's been more valuable than Garland? Garland's been balling, bro.
Garland has been balling. You are 100% correct. But how do you explain this without discrediting him? The center.
I get what you're saying.
If you're not playing a 34 defense, the center really is uncovered. So his job is to help the right and left guard and get to the second levels. Which, like we all talked about, the center position is huge in Kyle's offense. Huge. There's a lot of responsibility. Okay. But to have the ability, due to an injury, plug and play this guy and not miss a beat at right tackle, then school starts to struggle. Plug and play him at left tackle. tackle, not miss a beat. And then, oh, wait, person's neck hurts. Plug and play him at right guard and not miss a beat. That is huge. Like, I mean, I don't even know how to explain it. It's huge to have that type of player. Symmetry, excellent point. When Kittle was out, Ross Dwelly played great.
Not only for Kittle, he also filled in
for Juszczyk. But I mean, and this I'm gonna go on a tyrant now. Okay, this is why I have a plan in my head, and I honestly think John Lynch. If you remember back to the old days, John Lynch should take the Carmen policy role, and I would bump Adam Peters up to be the GM because honestly, these guys. We lost player after player after player after player, and all they kept doing was plugging, and nothing missed a beat. This team is not. I mean, technically, if these guys didn't build the roster the way they did and have the ability to find undrafted free agents, guys in the 6th, 7th, 5th round, like low tier guys, like even trade. Jesus Christ, they traded a fifth round pick for Laken Tomlinson. He's the starting left guard. Like the ability to identify the talent and get the talent, get them in here, and get them up to par with the playbook. I mean, yeah, there you go, Jose, Jeff Wilson. How many times you seen the running back get injured? Oh, it's going to be this guy this week. Oh, you know what? He's back from injury, so we'll go back to him. Oh, wait, he twisted his ankle. Let's go with him.
Jeff Wilson over Raheem Mostert. How is that? Huh? How is it possible to give it to Jeff Wilson over Raheem Mostert?
No, I'm just saying because I just saw it there and it popped in my head. Obviously, Mostert's ahead of Wilson because Wilson's been inactive. But what I'm saying is when Mostert was out, when Breida was banged up, who'd they go to? They just kept going down the depth chart, and the team did not miss a beat. All the injuries that this team has suffered, we're 13-3, dude. We're for number 1 seed.
I hear it, bro. I get it. I don't want to see this.
Well, I'm just talking. I'm not saying.
No, I get you.
But like, that's why I'm so concerned. If they start plucking from this front office and plucking Mike McDaniel or LaFleur, these guys, there's a continuity with these guys. And I honestly think if they lose either LaFleur or McDaniel, it's going to put a ton of pressure on Kyle because now he's going to find somebody to replace them. He's got to get them up to par to what he expects because these guys followed him around his whole career. Okay? So now Kyle's going to have to go back to, game planning, coming up with schemes and this and that, being a true offensive coordinator. Now, if you lose them, does he go out and bring in an offensive coordinator? You know what I'm saying? So this could be a scary offseason for our staff. It really could. But, I mean, listen, you got to trust them. They lost somebody. They plugged them in. Hopefully it happens in the front office and hopes if the coaching staff, if they start taking people.
Yeah. We're going to see what happens. You guys know we're going to keep our fingers on the pulse of all of that stuff, man. I think my breakout player, I'm going to go backwards 2 categories here. I think my breakout player is going to be who I predicted it to be, and that's going to be Eric Armstead. I think Eric Armstead had a phenomenal year in the regular season, and I think he played some of the best football that he's ever played in his entire career, including college. And I also think that he was possibly misused. I think that the team moved him around a lot. Not misused. They utilized his talents the right way. But I think that held him back from putting up bigger or gaudier numbers, if that makes any sense to you. So it's not that he was misused. But Eric Armstead is going to be my breakout player. And my 6th man, my guy off the bench, I know you just made a case there for Brunskill. I'm going to go with Garland. I'm gonna go with Garland.
It's not a bad choice.
Right.
It's not. Either one of them are a phenomenal choice. I just feel that Garland's a center. This guy played multiple positions.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
No, value. No, I get you, and that is
value. Yeah.
That you're absolutely right, and that's why I'm not mad at what you're saying. I just the way I value the center and the communication, and like I said, him hauling ass and his physical nature, his athleticism and getting down the field and all that. You know, I didn't expect it to pull penalties, but he's not that aggressive. He's got that dog in him. You know, the things that we were talking about with Richburg is what he showed.
I think this is going to be an interesting. I don't want to talk about it now, but I mean, I think potentially this could be an interesting offseason for this team.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
I really do, but we're not there yet. So, you know, hopefully we're not there for a while. But listen, things are bright. Things are going in the right direction, man.
Absolutely, man. Guys, I think that's going to be it. I can't promise that this is going to be the last show of the 2019 year. Maybe we'll pop in one quick time to say Happy New Year. Maybe we won't. This could be it. I don't know if Nick is going to come on and do something in a little bit. I'm not sure what's happening, guys, but we want to thank you all for rocking with us. 2019 has been a phenomenal year for us here at Nothing But Niners, for all of us faithful, all the fans. This has been the year, the season that we deserve, guys. We have been doing this for 3 years now. Since the regime started, since the regime change, and it's down there at the bottom. It's running across the screen. 49ers are the 2019 NFC West champions. We have the number 1 seed in the playoffs, and I honestly feel like we're just getting started, guys. Tony talked about it when he was going on his rant about Peters and going on and John Lynch in his front office and how we've just run through so many players. Imagine if we stayed healthy. Imagine if all the first options were playing the majority of the season. The ceiling for this team hasn't even been close to touched yet. We have not started to peak yet, guys, and that's what's exciting about this team. Regardless of how the rest of this postseason goes, the 2019 season was already one for the books, one to remember. Kyle Shanahan turned this team around from 9 wins, from 4 wins to 13 wins. That's a 9-win swing. I've seen it happen a couple of times. I know that the Chiefs did it when Andy Reid left the Eagles and went over there. I'm not sure I've seen a coach do that in the same head coach. I'm not sure I've seen that happen. I would have to go back and check for some things. But when it's all said and done, guys, like I said, we're just getting started. 2019 has been awesome. Tony, your final thoughts on the season?
One hell of a season. Clearly, this team had a plan, a 3-year plan. They got everything they needed over the 3 years. They strategically built this roster piece by piece by piece by piece, free agency, draft, trade market, and it's here. Kyle's got the roster he wants. John, Adam, Martin Mayhew put it together for him. And, Parag with the contract structuring, we're in a good spot. But like I said earlier, this offseason is going to be interesting. You can potentially lose some people because now we haven't been in a situation before. We have first-round draft picks that are coming up for contract extensions. We haven't had that. So now it's going to cost money. And instead of blowing money and spending money like they have previously, they're not going to be able to do that. They're going to lock up their own now. So
that's a really good point that you're mentioning. I got a lot of heat for saying that I'm not sure if Parag is this salary cap genius that we think he is. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're kidding! Look at who he signed. Look at what he." And I said, "We've had no one to keep. This team has had no one worth giving a big contract or extension to and keeping here." I said, "We're going to see what he has in a couple of years. The time is here. Yeah. We're here now, so we'll see. We'll see how good."
Yeah. So, I mean, listen, it's all positive, man. It's all positive. I mean, did we think it would be this 1 seed, 13-3 going into first round bye? And the sad thing is, this is without D Ford playing the majority of the season. What would happen if D Ford was healthy and didn't have the hamstring and didn't have the knee issue? This defense could have been record setting. Listen, I don't know, but I just saw someone, Callie Young. Could you put that up, Mike? Callie Young, props to Jed York.
I don't see it. Hold on, I'm looking for it. Hold on.
10:09. Basically, he put up props to Jed York for getting it right, the right people in the front office and getting Kyle here. Big ups. You are 150% right. This man, when he took over, He's been nothing. It's not him. The dude is young. He's 30. I think he's 36 years old, 37 years old. He's a young kid with a young man, a ton of money at the time, and with power. And he runs the San Francisco 49ers.
Do you know what year Jed York got the position?
I don't remember. I think it was right around the Nolan year.
2009.
Was that the Nolan year? Yeah.
So it's been exactly 10 years. Right?
Was it Nolan, though? Or was he saying, yeah, it was Nolan because he came in the locker room and said when they fired Nolan, Singletary was going to be the new coach going forward into the following season.
Right.
So with all that being said, I mean, listen, 10 years, the drastic turnaround that this man had. I don't know if you watched this show, Jed York, but, credit to you, mad respect to you. You're paying two coaches still that are not even here. Okay. You saw what your mistakes were. You addressed them. You said you want to win. And you took all the heat on national television in your press conference. And that shows me how you matured as an owner and a businessman as the San Francisco 49ers. You're sitting back. You're writing checks. That's your job, like you're doing. And you put the people that you want in this facility to run your franchise, and you did it the right way. You didn't keep Bulky and try to pair him with Shanahan. You didn't keep what's his name? Damn, Chip Kelly, and try to match him with John Lynch. You told the guy who you wanted, and you said, go find your guy that you want to work with, whether it was Lynch or whether it was Shanahan first. I think it was obviously Shanahan first, but whatever. And this was a man, Kyle Shanahan, who turned down an opportunity to come here as an offensive coordinator because he wanted no part of this organization. He was a ball boy here. His father was an offensive coordinator of a record-setting offense in 1994, 1995, which, by the way, is a Super Bowl winning team. So with all that being said, credit to you. You stood back. You made your decision. You let them do what they need to do, and you support them. Okay, credit to you, your father, and your mother. This franchise is in good shape. A lot of people bash the Yorks. I was one of them because Eddie DeBartolo was the man.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, they stepped their game up, and they got it right.
Jed York said something in an interview I listened to right before he hired Shanahan or right after. It was an interview he did with Matt Mayoko, and he said that he went and talked to his uncle, and he said, how would you do it? He said, that's the wrong answer. He said, you have to do it your way, and that's exactly what he did. It's exactly what he did, and I love it. I love it. You guys already know how I feel about Jed York. It's pinned to my page, man. That's not going anywhere. I like it. I like the maturation, but just so you know, man, I've seen a lot worse than 10-year owners. All right, 10 years. This will be our fourth playoff appearance in 10 years. Number one seed in 10 years. Like, come on. It could be a lot worse. I know we give this guy a lot of crap. We give him a lot of crap. And we like to try to do this magic thing where we can snap our finger and just eliminate the Harbaugh years, right? We don't want to credit him for that. He was the guy who made that hire. You don't like the way it ended, that's fine. But he was the guy who made that hire. He's the guy who let that show go on as long as it did. You can't take away those 3 years of contention. All right. So, like I said, in 10 years, he's got 4 years of playoffs. It's not a bad start. It's not a bad start.
It's not. For a kid that just graduated from Notre Dame with a business major. Right. But I just wanted to touch on one more thing. And, if we want to wrap it up, Mike, we'll wrap it up. I just feel like back in the day, I mean, I don't know if you remember this or anybody in the chat remembers this. People wanted to come to the 49ers. People told their agents, please get me on the 49ers because of the way Eddie DeBartolo ran this team. Eddie DeBartolo made this 53-man roster, plus at the time the 7-man practice squad, so that's 60 players, plus his whole coaching staff, which probably makes it up to, let's say, strength and condition, all that, makes that 100 people. His whole front office and their families and the groundskeepers and the guy that washes the jock straps, everybody was one big family. Okay. Jed York is doing that again. This team used to travel jumbo jets, chartered, just them, nobody else. Jumbo jets, top-notch hotels they stayed in.
They still get together once a year in Vegas.
They celebrate once a year. Carmen Policy, all of them, McPherson, everybody. And you're starting to see it again with the passing of what happened with Bethard's brother.
Oh, I thought you were saying Dwight Clark. But yeah.
Even Dwight Clark, Bethard's brother, the offensive tackle who just passed a couple months ago. They all go. It's family. The 49er family. It's not bullshit, guys. Like, this is like legit shit. But I'm not going to beat a dead horse. We're in a very good spot. Thank you, Jed York. Thank you to the family. And, let's just hope for the best. And let's keep this going in the right way. And just one more thing for the record. New England is New England because Robert Kraft, when he purchased that team, flew out to San Francisco and met with Eddie DeBartolo. And he asked him,
how do you do it?
How did you do it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So put that where that needs to be. Think about it. It makes a lot of sense. Just keep your alerts on because once these signings and moves become official, we will talk about it. Mike said possibly jumping on within the next hour 45, possibly not. And keep your eye out for a show. I know I don't know if Mike and Nick wants to get involved with this, but we want to do a little breakdown on the Seattle game. We got a bye week this week, so we got some time to kill and talk about some things. And that's pretty much all I got tonight.
That's it, guys. We got our quarterback back. We got our running backs back. Some of them anyway. We've got our tight end back. We got some linemen coming in here. We've got some defensive players back, guys. We got the bye week here. We're back in the playoffs. We should be getting Ford back. We might be getting Quan back. I got to say it, even though people, no, I don't think so, but I'm not going with maybe we get Quan back also. Sounds like Earl Mitchell is back. I don't know yet officially. Man, listen, the 49ers got their swag back, baby. 2019 has been an excellent year, and I can't wait to see how we start the next year, man. 2020 is going to be awesome, guys. So shout out to every single one of you guys. Thank you guys for the continued support. We love and we appreciate you guys. I know my man typed it a long time ago, and I can't find the message now. He typed our exit up here, and I was going to put it up there on the screen while we said it, but I don't see it anymore. So
Happy New Year, everybody.
That's right.
We don't make it.
If we don't do another show, we're making it to the new year. I ain't dying this soon.
If we don't do, you know what I'm saying. If we don't make it to log on and do another show, because I got news for you. If we don't do another show and you don't tell me about this within the next half hour, the ball is going to be watching me.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So listen, guys, Happy New Year, man. Again, thank you guys for the love, the continued support. We appreciate it. We're going to keep on finding ways to give back to you guys. I promise you that. So that's going to be it for us, man. Prepare for glory.
Anticipate pain.
But always